Hey everyone, welcome to episode number 5 in our series of Beginner to Bosser. So this is a series hopefully to help the newer or returning player get back into Maple, or maybe introduce a few systems that might be a little confusing whenever you first run into them. So this episode is going to be the final one, and it is going to take us from level 140 to 200. Originally, I wanted this series to include us taking down Chaos Root Abyss, but there's been a bit of a hiccup, and I'll go over that now. This is a bit of a preface for the episode. Everything that you've seen up to this point, if you've been watching this series, is still for the most part accurate and true. So if you looked at all of the different systems in the game, like links, legion, the leveling, the questing, all of that is still going to be true and accurate. But recently there was an update that had a huge overhaul to a lot of the game, including the user interface. So a lot of things are in different places, or just some things are removed from the game. So like I said, for the most part, everything is still accurate, but not everything. So because of that, I wanted to take this character up to 200. Still show you, because like I said, the journey from 140 to 200 using quests is still the same and is still accurate, so hopefully you can follow along there and this will remain relevant. But if you are interested in a new perspective, I'll be taking a newer, like a more recently created character, not one of the older school explorer classes. I'll take that character all the way from 0 to 200 using the newer event leveling method, which is a lot faster than this older questing leveling method that we've been going through. It's going to be the pretty much same series as this one. It's going to be a redo of the series, just because I thought it would be nice to go over it again, showing another perspective. And in that series, I'll show us taking down the Chaos Root Abyss bosses using that character. That's mostly just because when I did take down those bosses with this character, which I did successfully, I had all of my links and legion equipped, which now looking back on it was a little bit disingenuous. It's a little bit too big of an advantage for me to go through and say that I showed you the new player experience. So I want to show you the newer player experience still. So I'll go through again on that new character. So feel free to watch that series after this one if you want to see another character level up. Maybe you'll use that way of leveling, because like I said, it is quite a bit faster, but we are going to be condensing a lot of the information down, so you might not get as much detail in that series as you do in this series. So a little bit of advantages and disadvantages to each one. Feel free to choose whichever you enjoy more, but that's enough of me rambling. Just want to let you know going into this episode that things look a lot different if you log in right now. So let's jump into it. Back with another episode of our beginner/returner series, and this is to help all of the players that are coming back for the first time in a long time, or maybe you're just brand new. While I was off camera, I sold the boss crystal I got from Magnus to the collector for a few million. And I used all of those gains to upgrade our gear a little bit. So I got the helmet, the accessories, the chest piece, weapon, and boots to 6 stars. That's going to hopefully get us a bit more damage. Now we're up to 62,000. And we can actually go attempt a few more bosses. So I do want to give a go at Horntail. I don't think we can do Chaos Horntail. I want to go for normal Horntail. Like I said in the last episode, all of these bosses reset every single day. So there's no point in not giving it a go just to see if you can do it at all. So I would recommend looking up a guide if you are struggling with your bosses or anything like that. This is definitely not going to be a guide on definitely not on what you should do, but you should probably be able to take down these bosses if you are around this level and this damage being 60,000. And just like that, we were able to take down normal Horntail. We got some pretty good luck because we weren't able to get the weapon, or not the weapon, we were able to get the ring and the necklace. So that was really nice. If you are able to, try to take down Chaos Horntail, but like I said, you can only kill them once per day. So hopefully by the time we hit 200, we'll be strong enough to kill the Chaos version. And as you take down bosses, make sure to equip their gear. It'll give you a little bit of a power increase. So I am going to go with this regular necklace just because it has a potential on it, and the other one, even though it's better, doesn't. Also, this ring is going to be pretty good for us because we don't have any other rings besides the free one that we got. As far as bosses go, I think that is it, but we can give a try for easy Arkarium. It's honestly not that good of a boss to kill, but it can drop a necklace, and I definitely don't think we can kill the normal version at our CP. So I'm just going to go for this version and hope for the best. Hey, there we go. Didn't drop the necklace, but we still got some money for taking him down. I don't think there's any other bosses that we can kill that are really worth it. Von Leon does drop some stuff, so we can go fight him. And if you're having trouble accessing these bosses, it's probably because you haven't done the quest lines for them. I mentioned this in a previous video, so go back there, but generally you're just going to want to look up the boss and go do the quest lines. Some can be longer than others, but some are done pretty quickly. So just make sure you're doing the one for the boss that you want to actually fight before you wonder why you can't access them. And alright, so there we go. We're able to take down Von Leon. It was a hard fought victory, but we got him in the end. Von Leon can actually drop some really good gear. Also, you can spend his tokens to buy even more gear if you really feel like going that way. Like I said, we are just going to be using Pencilier for ourselves, but if you like the Von Leon set, it actually has boss flame advantage, so it's pretty good gear. It just takes a little while to get a full set of it. That's why we're not going with it here. Overall, the bosses didn't drop too much, but we can sell their boss crystals to the collector here for a good bit of money. 18 million. We're already way past anything we've ever had before, and this will allow us to upgrade our gear a little bit more. So we'll get up our gear, trying to get all of it to 6 stars at least. Alright, so there we go. We are able to get all of our gear to 6 stars, including the new ring we got and the new necklace. We also even got our weapon to plus 11, which is huge. As you can see, we got that plus 28 Starforce modifier to our attack power, which is going to be huge going forward. So now we went from 60k, killed those bosses, and now we're up to 70k. A pretty big increase when you think about it relatively. Obviously not gonna be really big in the grand scheme of things. You could be like Dubsley here, which I think is a pretty juiced endgame player. Kind of funny we came across them. We'll get there eventually, but it's all about incremental gains. So shout out to Dubsley. Hope he's doing well. Kind of funny he popped up here in this video. Anyways, not too many other bosses we want to try and take down before our daily reset happens, but we might give a go at Pink Bean if we get a little bit more power and a little bit more damage, because this boss actually has a ton of great drops that we would really like to have. So if we can try and kill him today before reset, that would be great. Again, try to kill all of these bosses that I've killed every single day until you at least get their items. I already got the 2 items from Zakum, so we don't have to kill him unless you want to do it for some extra money. Speaking of extra money, if you need extra money, you can go and do this. So if you quick move and go to the dimensional door, then you can go into Maplestory. Maplestory is a great way to make money, kind of. So once you talk to Lulu Spinell, you'll be able to go into the door on the top right, and it'll give you access to Maplestory. You do it twice per day, and it gives you money, kind of. And by that, I mean, as long as you do it twice every day, or just however many times you end up doing it throughout the week, they'll give you money on the 7th day. So if you do it every day, twice a day, through the whole week, you'll get around 300 million meso at the end of the week. And you just have to come back and collect it. This is a great reliable way to make miso, especially early on. I don't do this anymore, as I make plenty of miso through other means, but if you are a newer player, you're definitely going to want to check it out. Another great way to make miso is through killing Ursus. So if we take a look at our boss tab again, the very first one is going to be Ursus. All you got to do is be level 100 and do the quest in the light bulb so that you can find him. If you do the quest and you kill 300 mobs, then you can go to Ursus, and 3 times a day you get to kill this bear. Simply talk to the boss here and you'll be able to kill Ursus. Depending on how much damage you do to him, you can get anywhere between 30 million mesos up to 40 million mesos per kill 3 times. So do the math, that's around 600 to 700 million mesos every week just for killing this bear. You make sure that you kill him on the 2 times meso reward times. Twice a day, whenever you do kill the bear, it'll be worth twice as much. Typically you only get 17 million mesos, for example, but if you kill him during the double time, you'll get 34 million. If you want to look up, I would highly recommend looking up what the double times are. I know one of them is at 6 p.m. PST, and I think the other might be 10 a.m. PST, with the boss resetting with all the other daily bosses at 5 p.m. PST, so look that up in your regional time if you want to know the best time to kill the boss. If you do miss the 2x money multiplier, it's totally fine. I'd recommend either waiting for the next one or just killing him because it's still free money regardless, and early on, that'll definitely help you a lot. So now that we've said a million things and have barely done anything, we can move on to the next quest that we want to get to, which is going to be Silent Crusade. This is the one that I couldn't find earlier for Arkarium, but if you do this full quest line, you'll unlock Arkarium, which is a really important boss, so please do the whole quest line and it'll get you a good ring as well. So we got to level 150 and we unlocked Arkarium. That's nice because we're gonna have to do that quest anyways, so it's just something you do along the way. I'm glad they implemented it into the leveling system so easily. So make sure to continue leveling up your character and following the guides that are in the Discord so that you can properly level up your passive skills. This one you can also reset if you need to, so don't worry about it if you do mess up. And also on top of that, I am going to actually attempt to join a guild because I wasn't going to originally, but I actually kind of forgot that we're going to need all the help we can get once we get to level 200 to kill these bosses. That's all you got to say, and hopefully they get back to you eventually, and feel free to reply to a few of them because they actually do give you some buffs that I totally forgot about that we are going to really want for our character going into the future bosses. So we finished off these quest lines, and we can talk to this lady if you want for some all cure potions. I thought I'd mention that because I forgot to in the last video. Now that we are done here though, we can move on to Stone Colossus, one of my favorite quest lines. And if you want a Corsair mount and you are a Corsair, then you do get the extra free mount for that. I'm not going to do that here, but feel free to do any of these quest lines. Go through, look through these quest lines every once in a while. Some of them are pretty cool or pretty fun, or just something that may be actually pretty helpful. Just take a look from time to time, actually play the game. You don't have to follow this guide word for word. I'm just letting you know a few things along my journey. So it's cool, while I was going through the quest line for the Stone Colossus, we actually were accepted into that one guild that we put an application into. And so I actually get to show you the reason why it's pretty cool being in a guild. So feel free to hit the guild button, which for me is the minus sign. And you can check in. This will give you a little bit of attendance and a little bit of participation in the guild. Also, a really nice thing is you can get these potions from Granny. So these potions will give you right here. So you get 300 or however many you get depending on your guild level. You'll get an amount of free potions every week, and you can use these to your heart's content. And the more important one is you get a 30 damage increase. This is just free. You get to use it 30 times every week depending on the level of your guild. And then the most important part is your guild skills. So this is something you can just use constantly. And this is going to be something you can even put on your bars. Every 5 minutes you can reapply it if you want to, and it lasts for 30. As you saw, I couldn't use it quite yet. You have to be in a guild for a full day before you can actually use the guild skills. But once you are in the guild for a day, it's so nice. You get a free 30% crit damage, which is so incredibly huge. As you can see, my crit damage is 100. So that's just 30% increase over on top of that. So it's a large amount. So it is really, really important. And I would highly recommend getting it as soon as possible, because it will make it so your bosses are so much easier. Also, make sure to sell your stuff. If you've been like me and hoarding everything from all your quests, then you might be in the same position wondering why some of your quest items aren't getting picked up. It's because you don't have any room. So buy more room or sell your stuff frequently so you don't end up in a position like me, having to drop stuff while questing. So since my inventory was full, I came back to start dumping everything and selling it, and I realized I have a bunch of stuff that's like unsellable, like these weapons and hats and stuff. Feel free to just drop it on the ground. It's really not a big deal. Even these titles, if you want, you can get titles and medals back later if you want to reclaim them for like style points or whatever. You should just have your best one equipped, and then feel free to just drop all the other ones. You can go to escape, and in your menu go to medals, and at any point you can get these back by hitting the reissue button, so it's not a big deal if you throw them away. Just equip the best one that you got. Also, if your inventory is looking a little mess like this, just go into here, sort items, and sort by type. There you go. Now it looks a lot nicer, a lot more uniform, and you can see where everything is. So now that I got everything out of my inventory, we can go back to questing and bossing, and make sure to equip your Superior Hunter title. If you did the Arkarium questline, it'll give you just a little bit more stats and damage. There we go. And being in Leaf-Free did remind me that when we were previously talking about, you know, Starforcing hunting grounds, like the one down here in Minar Forest, if you do join a guild, there's actually a guild skill that gives you a free amount of Starforcing. As you can see here, you get free 25 Starforces. So if you check it out in your inventory tab, or in your character tab, we get 82 from our equipment and then an extra free 25. So you don't actually even need to upgrade your character nearly as much if you want to go to these Starforcing maps, and being in a guild is overall pretty awesome. So join one if you can and take advantage of it. So, level 161, and we just finished the Stone Colossus questline. Like I said, one of my favorite questlines, so glad I was able to do it. The next one is going to be the Henesys Ruins, so let's head over there. We're going to go back into the future. Kind of weird how that goes. So we just finished the questline for the Henesys Ruins. Kind of ended abruptly, so I don't know if I finished it properly, but either way, we're on to the Night Stronghold prequest. This is a prequest for the Cygnus boss, so it's nice that you have to do it along with your leveling, because you're going to have to do it anyways, and it is kind of a longer quest, so it's nice to get it out of the way while doing a bit of leveling. So it's good that we're here, and it's going to start off like every other quest, where you're going to need to kill some mobs, get some stuff, and bring it back to whoever you've been talking to. So we just killed the story mode version of Cygnus. Wasn't too tough, and now that we are done, we can fully finish out the questline that we were working on, the Night Stronghold questline. So hopefully we'll be able to actually finish it once we go to this area. Perfect. And this hopefully will give us another level. We'll see. Ah, so close. So we ended up at 170. We're at a really good point in time where we can continue on. We can go to Chief Alex real quick, actually, and he'll give us a title, I think. Oops, went to the wrong place. So if we go back here, go back to Chief Alex. Pretty sure he gives us a little like title or medal for helping him out. And a bit of XP. There we go. That's the level I was looking for. Cool. So now that we're done with that, we can continue on to the next storyline, which would normally be Kritias. But first, we're going to make a pit stop here at NLC, this quest line here. It's actually super, super useful, and it is level relevant, so we'll do it while we are the relevant level. Talk to this guy until he tells you to talk to the next person, which is going to be Lita Lawless. So go through, talk to her, and do some street sweeping. This questline is it's actually a fairly long questline, and feel free to do more of it if you're enjoying it. A lot of it is just kill quests, which are totally cool and up some people's alleys, but I want to level faster, and these are just okay for leveling. So because of that, I'm going to try and get through these first 3 as quick as possible. It's going to be you going through 3 different maps and killing 3 different types of mobs, 200 of the first 2, and then I think 100 or 50 of the third one. Should be relatively quick, and I'll show you why it's important to do the first 3 instead of all of the quest. It is nice because it is a very long quest, so I am glad, or quest line rather, so I'm glad that we're just going to do the first few. A lot of these maps are really awkward too, so just do your best to try to find your way on how to grind through them. You only need a few hundred mobs, so it shouldn't be too difficult. Alright, so we're back from killing mobs in Outskirts 1, 2, and 3, each time coming back and talking to Lita Lawless. Now that we're done with that quest, we received a coin. We only need 1 coin for what we were doing and talking to this guy Spindle here. We can get 100 John's ring, so this is a great ring. Like I said in a few episodes ago, it's tough to fill out your ring slots, so now that we've done the quest, done the boss, done the other quest line, and now we've done this quest line, our ring slots are full, and this one you can actually Starforce up to level 15, which will give you a little bit more damage. It's nice because I haven't even noticed, but just from going around killing mobs and doing quests, we're already up to 20 million misos. And we really haven't done much. I haven't focused on it at all, so it's nice seeing that slowly build up. And also slowly building up our damage, almost up to, there we go, over 83,000. Feel free to slot in your points, whatever seems better for you. I like putting a lot into crit damage early on, so we'll get that to 5. Regular damage is always useful, put that to 5 as well. And we'll also get our attack to 5, just some generic stuff for now. This character is going to be focusing on bossing quite a bit, so we'll put the rest into boss. Wow, just doing those few things jumped us up from 80 to 110,000. That is a big jump. Something I just noticed is hilarious. So if you are like me and haven't really looked at your gear super intently, you might be missing a secondary weapon. You might be wondering, how is that possible? Believe me, I don't know. But we haven't had a secondary weapon this whole time, so let's talk to Neville, and he will actually sell emblems and secondary weapons. We need the secondary though. This will be a huge source of damage, and so let's look for what we are going to be using, and that's going to be the Falcon Eye. I didn't know it was going to be the Falcon Eye, just rolled through here until it said I could use it. Get the level 100 one, that'll be the best one for you. This isn't going to be our end-all be-all secondary, but it's what we're going to use for some time until we start farming out a boss called Princess No. And until then, this will be what we use. For some classes, like mages, you are going to use a shield that you'll have to craft later on, so make sure to keep that in mind. Like I said, this guy will sell a secondary for every single class. You can use that for the time being, but there will be better secondaries later on. Just keep that in mind. So typically, I would have us move on to the next storyline, which is going to be Kritias. That being said, it's 4:30 where I am, and it resets at 5. So because of that, I want to make sure that I take advantage of all the bosses I possibly can, and we've gotten quite a bit stronger since the first time we went and tried to kill some bosses. So let's go and try to kill a few more. We've unfortunately already done the vast majority of bosses, but we haven't done them all. We can go through and actually fight Pink Bean. This is the boss that I wanted to kill before I went and got the daily reset going, because this boss drops a ton of useful stuff, primarily the belt and or the cup. He has a really low chance at dropping a face accessory, which is really good, but I'm not going to pretend like there's a chance we're getting that. Let's go to normal, talk to this guy, and see how well we do here. Let's set up all of our... This is easily one of the most annoying bosses in the whole game, just because all this boss does is set up a bunch of stuff for you to get annoyed about. So if this boss is too frustrating for you, I totally get it, and you can feel free to just not do this boss if he is frustrating you too much. He's going to use a ton of your potions and a ton of your patience, so if you don't have any extra of that, go over to skip it. Not a big deal. You can always kill him whenever you get stronger. So that is the way to get rid of the curses, and it's really just a boss fight where you're going to be spamming potions and you're going to be spamming cure-alls pretty much the whole time. Unfortunately, we didn't get lucky. No good loot from this boss, but we did get an extra boss crystal, and this guy's boss crystal actually sells for a good amount. So we can quick move to the collector and sell our boss crystal for a nice 7 million misos, building up that stack a little bit more. I want to take a second and get all of my gear as high as I can. So I'm going to try and get all of it to to Starforce level 11 before the day resets, because it's currently a discounted rate for all of the Starforcing because of the Sunday event. So I'm going to take advantage of that and try to get all my gear up to 11 stars with the 25 mil that I have on hand. I don't think it'll be enough. Oh, but we just got a present of 30 million misos for doing a couple chicken dances earlier. Let's see if we can build that up. Oh wow, we got lucky. We hit a 5 mil miso bag. And a couple 1 mil miso. Another 5 mil miso bag. Oh wow, we went from 25 mil to 45 mil. We're going to send all these to 11. That's going to definitely bolster our damage a little bit. So with the help of the event that's going on right now that gives us a discount on Starforcing, we got most of our gear up to 11 stars, including all of our main gear, necklace, and both of our new rings. We could also try sending our shoulder, since there's really no point in not sending our shoulder with the little money we have left over. Ah, so close. We need another 500k. Let's sell a few more items. We don't really need all of these pencilier pieces, so let's send it in an effort to get one more click. Perfect. Alright, cool. So all of our gear is 11, except for, our accessories will get there eventually. It's okay. But I wanted to make sure to take advantage of the event going on right now and get them to 11. Of course, I would recommend you do the same. Wait for an event, or if you have any extra money, get them to 11, or if you don't have any extra money, just get them to whatever level you possibly can, prioritizing your weapon like I did as well. With all those upgrades, that gets us up to 127k. That's really good considering like 20 minutes ago we were at 80k. So that's a big improvement. We cleared out all of our stuff and sold it all. Again, we can tighten it up with our sword. So we made some huge gains, and what's nice is because reset is happening in just 20 minutes, I get to do all those bosses over again, but some of them I can even turn up the difficulty, increasing the chances of me getting better loot, like a new belt, a new pendant, and new earrings, which would be big increases to our damage. Maybe even a new badge if I get lucky. So we'll see if we get lucky whenever we come back. Alright, so while I was off screen, I just decided to do a little bit more rolling on the inner ability, simply hitting the reset button over and over again until we eventually hit legendary. If you don't hit legendary, it's totally fine. Sometimes it could take a little while, but I got a little lucky. Then I rolled the item drop rate, which will be a little bit nice whenever we go to kill more bosses, which should be in just a second. And we'll do a little bit more damage to normal mobs, so hopefully that'll help grinding a little bit. So let's get to boss killing, and we'll come back with all of our gear, and hopefully it's a lot, but we'll see. Also, before I jump into these bosses, make sure to actually set up your links so that you have a bossing setup if you have the capability. For example, I'm not going to use this bossing link whenever I'm killing regular mobs, but for right now, it's going to be a pretty good option. So make sure to go through and select all those to make sure you have the right ones before you go into bossing. It's going to make your time there a lot better. Just something to keep in mind while you go through and start fighting some of those bosses. And one more thing to go along with that, if you do have any Legion, then feel free to go in here and pick up your bossing setup. This is going to make a big difference whenever you change it, so let's just take a look here. My combat power is 126k, and when I change to my bossing setup, it should go up by at least a little bit. Oh, okay, so now it's just 132k, so not a whole ton, but it definitely is going to help out in a few different ways, especially in our IED, which doesn't really translate to combat power. So that's going to be a little bit of a nice improvement. Also on top of that, as we get into the end game, or as we get into bossing, definitely not the end game, as we get into a little bit more serious bossing, you might want to set up a bossing character preset. So here under character, you can find the character preset panel. And you can change them so that they're easier for you to see. So I'll have one for mobbing. And honestly, this might not be something you set up right away, especially if you don't have really any difference between mobbing and bossing. Feel free to just stay on mobbing for a while until you actually start getting different sets of gear and different sets of abilities or legion and links like I just showed off. Once you do have that, then you're definitely going to want to set up presets, as it is going to help you save some time. So now that I have a bossing setup for my links and legion and a mobbing setup for my links and legion, I can go through and use my keybind, which I have for right here. It's F12. I'm going to put that one there. I typically like to put my familiars there. Okay. So when we hold down our swap presets, you'll see it pops up at the bottom. Now I can easily swap from mobbing back into bossing, and all my setup should be good to go again. Alright, so we were able to take down the boss. Actually didn't have my pet equipped, he ran out of food. On top of that, we forgot to use our buffs from our new guild. So we definitely could have done a little bit more damage and not died, but that's totally fine. We still got the job done. No upgrades, but it's okay, because I don't expect upgrades from every boss. So we were able to actually kill the boss. That's pretty surprising for me. I definitely didn't think we could. We got the necklace, which is cool. I really wanted the earrings, though. It's okay, we can try again tomorrow. As far as the boss I'm looking forward to the most, it's definitely Arkarium. We get to kill the normal version now. Yeah, cool. So we killed him and we got the necklace just like I had hoped for. This necklace actually is pretty good early on, and you do use it for quite some time. So, oh, we got a really good flame too. We got dex and percent roll on it. Even though it doesn't have a pot on it, like a potential, then it's still really good. It doesn't matter. So it's 5,000 better than our current necklace, which has 11 stars on it. It's pretty big. So we have that equipped, and we can move on to the next and final boss. This is actually a quest. I forgot killing Arkarium was a quest. But our next and final boss is going to be Pink Bean. We are hoping for a belt from Pink Bean. Let's see if we get lucky. Alright, so we were able to kill Pink Bean, but no luck on the loot there. It's so funny, it is so bright here with all the skills that I cannot even see the loot. You're probably going to want to turn it down yourself, but I don't really mind. I was able to kill all the bosses I wanted to anyways, so you can do more if you want more money. Like, you can go through and kill Hela or Zakum or whoever you want really for a little bit more money, but we're not going to be doing that, at least not at this time. We could kill Von Leon, but I think I'm good. We have our ring slots full, so I don't need whatever he might drop. He definitely has some good gear, but it's okay. We'll pass for now. Anyways, these are our upgrades. We did get the necklace upgrade, so I'm still happy about that. And of course, we have more chances every day. And also, we got 40 million misos just off of that. The next big upgrade would be from Chaos Horntail, getting the Diacitus earrings. They're very good. And also the badge from Magnus, neither of which we got today, which is unfortunate, but totally fine. And also the belt. Well, we don't have any belt, so a belt from Pink Bean would be amazing as well. Your Android and Heart slot probably won't be filled for quite some time, but if you want one, it will boost your damage by a really small amount, but honestly, it's not going to be that big of a deal. But you can get one by doing the daily for auto harvesting. It's going to be a quest that you find in your quest light bulb called auto harvesting. Feel free to go through it if you want, and by using the coins you get every day, after I think 4 days you can buy a android from the auto harvesting area, which is here in Ardent Mill. Let's go over to Ardent Mill real quick. Once you talk to this guy, Teston and Plenty, then you'll eventually be able to get auto harvesting, which is an automatic harvesting thing that allows you to harvest minerals and plants and stuff like that for crafting. It's something I'd highly recommend doing because it's free as long as you're online. Then after you do it for a few days, you should get enough coins to talk to the credit shop here, and there you'll be able to buy an android for I think 1,000 coins. Like I said, go ahead and do it if you want, but the android that you get is very, very low impact, so just do it if you want a little extra damage or if you happen to be there. And just like that, we finished the Kritias questline. Honestly, it's a pretty chill questline. You just teleport to a bunch of areas, kill mobs, and get a bunch of XP. So we got a ton of levels, and we are in the home stretch. So 187, just got to get 13 more levels. Unfortunately, my least favorite quests are coming up now, and this is going to be Twilight Perion. Even though it is my least favorite, the only ones I like less are the level 195 quests that will be coming up on soon. You can totally just end off your leveling spree by going back and killing mobs the old school style. That's totally viable still. If you don't like the quest as much as I do, that might be what you go for, but these are still really quick even though I don't like them as much. So by finishing that questline, we also went back. I noticed that I had a previous questline from Twilight Perion that I forgot to finish. Both of those combined got me to 200. That was all we needed. We actually didn't even need to do the other Haven and Dark World Tree quest, so that's pretty cool. Now we are 200. This is pretty much the biggest milestone you'll get until level 260, which is going to be the unlock of your 6th job. Right now we have unlocked 5th job though. Make sure to put in all your points, which I have been neglecting to do. So I went through, allocated all my points in my hyper as well as in my ability, and I also allocated all my hyper passives. Again, go to your Discord if you're not sure where to put your points into. After all that, I now have 2 skills that I want to use while bossing, Whaler's Potion and Epic Adventure, so I just put them on a separate bossing buff. Made it use Jolly Roger again, even though I don't need to, just so that it meets the 3 skill requirement. It'll still end up being faster than if I were to use these 2 by themselves, so it's okay. It's a little bit of a speed up anyways. So now that we're 200, we gotta do the 5th job quest that'll actually unlock the power of 5th job. So let's go through and do that real quick. So now that you are 200 and you've accepted the quest to start your 5th job unlock, there's going to be 3 different areas you need to go to talk to each of the goddesses. So the first one's going to be here in Henesys. And then make sure to talk to the goddess. This one, all you have to do is talk to her and you are done. The next goddess you're going to be looking for is going to be in the World Tree. This is the Dark World Tree. And the portal is going to be right here. Kill the mobs and go through to the end. The third and final one is going to be in a weird spot. So you're going to have to go to Grandis, Pantheon, and head to the middle. Once there, head into the big building, and there's going to be a portal right in there. This is going to have you kill an imaginary version of Magnus. It shouldn't be too difficult, especially if you've already killed the regular version. Alright, so congratulations, y'all made it to level 200, or at least now you know how to get to 200 if you've been following along. Hopefully you learned a few things along the way, some nice tips and tricks. As always, if you did get lost or have any questions, feel free to ask down below. And I just want to reiterate, I am going to be remaking this series with a new character, so if you want to see what that looks like, feel free to join in on the next episode. I was originally going to put the boss episode next, but since I'm redoing the series, I'll just redo the whole series and show you the bosses on that character instead. This character did end up successful. He's now around level 201, only got 1 level, but I did get to around, I think 1.7 million CP in just a couple weeks by doing the bosses every week and upgrading my gear over time. So I'll show you how to do that with this next character, and I'll show you the progression there. I also wanted to make the bosses a little more realistic. When I fought them on my Corsair, I did use my full Links and Legion, which I know a lot of players don't have. So I'm going to go through and try to make it more realistic with less Links and less Legion, and show you what that will look like as well. And I'm going to be doing it on a newer class instead of one of the OG Explorer classes like Corsair, so you'll get a new perspective on the leveling process and on a new class as well. So hopefully that is pretty interesting. So that's going to be it here. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video, and if you did, then stick around. We got a little bit more. Thanks again, and I'll see you all very soon.